Hey everybody, Justin Senior here. Welcome to Section 5 Design, and this is the last video in this section on working with a designer. So as you guys know, digital design files are your inventory, and we're not going to go down the road of trying to create these designs ourselves, especially if we're not designers or very fluent in Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator. So we're going to go and actually have to go out and find a designer. And if you've never done it before, it's not something that you need to be overwhelmed by. There are tons and tons and tons of freelance designers out there that are just, dying for more work. So remember, you're selling something that someone has to wear on their chest. It needs to be nicely designed. It can't be something like a Fiverr design or something with clip art or, a very basic cartoony design. I mean, there may be some outliers in there, but for the most part, you're not going to be able to sell consistently with poor design quality. Again, they need to actually wear this T-shirt on their chest. If it's something that's so poor, then they're not going to be able to take their credit card out and actually purchase it. So you want to always focus on that. Find a threshold of design quality and make sure that you're hitting that every single time. And finding a designer is an incredibly important part of this business, and you might go through 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 designers until you find someone that, you really mesh with. And don't expect it to happen off the bat. It's a challenge. You need to get these designers. They need to be on the same wavelength as you, and it's just not going to happen at the start of the relationship. So don't worry. Put in the work. Vet the people that you think are quality and give them some small tests to go and move forward with, and hopefully you'll find a match. So where are you going to be able to find these people? Upwork.com, 99designs.com, Craigslist, graphic design forums, local colleges. They're all great places. Let me focus on Upwork.com, which is definitely a place where it would be the easiest to find designers. There's literally tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of designers, freelance designers on the site. And freelance is important. We don't want to find agencies or things like that, because that's just going to cost a lot of money. So we want to find designers who are freelance. 99 Designs is an interesting place. They run logo tournaments or logo contests, but the idea about 99 Designs isn't to use their platform, but it's to kind of spy on designers and then do a little bit of Googling to find their contact information off of that. I found a really good designer on 99 Designs. Craigslist, believe it or not, really good source, and especially if you want to see someone locally and meet with them every so often, or even work next to them, you could leverage Craigslist and find local designers. You could post a free job posting. They call it gigs. You post a free gig in there in the computer category and look for graphic designers, and I guarantee you get at least 20 responses, probably within the hour. Another cool place I like to do graphic design forums, and you can just Google that exact term, graphic design forums, and click on the first couple of them. And a lot of them have job posting boards, or it's just basically a message board where you can post little gigs. And then local colleges. You might find some really talented students at your local colleges, and they certainly won't be commanding the same rates as a well-established designer, so that would save you some money. So great, that's where you're going to find your designer. This is what you want to look for, and this is what you want to aim for when you start negotiating. That's going to be $35 to $100 per design. And again, you want to find freelancers rather than agencies. And a very important part here is we want to look for flat rate billing rather than hourly billing. So hourly, that would be, let's say it takes him 2 hours to design him or her. It takes 2 hours to design, your T-shirt design. It's going to be, let's say, $50 an hour. You'd pay $100. But what if one design takes 4 hours? Or what if a design takes 2 hours and then you ask for some changes and then that's another hour? You want to just find someone that's going to give you, a flat rate pricing, and not only a flat rate, but some agreed upon number of revisions before they start charging you. So typically what I look for is, $35 to $100 flat rate pricing, including one revision round. And a revision round could include any number of revisions that I make. They just all have to be submitted at once. So, that's what you should look for in terms of negotiating. But you want to find a designer that understands the principles of designing for printing, right? They need to, understand transparencies and the idea of limiting colors and using background colors of the shirt to kind of mimic, ink colors to keep that print color down. They should understand that, ideas of typography and fonts and things like that, and obviously the idea that we're designing for something that people are going to be wearing, right? We're not designing banners for web ads or anything like that. We're talking about designing clothing. So you want to find a designer that definitely kind of meets that criteria and agrees to those, those demands. So a design brief, basically a design brief. That's what that's going to be how you kind of pass along your requirements for the T-shirt design to your designer. So you really don't want to overcomplicate things here. It's as simple as really talking to your designer and asking your designer what they need to be well prepared to complete the task. So, it does take time to get on the same page, but I think, really the best way to start is give too much information. Really go overboard on the design brief. Too much information is not going to hurt. Like I said, it takes a while to get on the same page. We want to give the designer as much as we can to let them kind of get inside our head. So you're going to always want to give examples to help the designer. Maybe you want to give examples of other T-shirts that you like, and you could even be specific about what you like in the examples, right? You could say something like, I want a design that uses this type of font, but I want, to have the alignment looking like this design, and I want you to create a graphic that's kind of similar to this design, and I really like how they use the colors in this design. Just keep giving more and more visual examples to your designer. He or she is definitely going to appreciate that, because that's going to give them, an idea of what you're actually looking for. So the more examples, the better, and be specific about what you like. You could even send things what you don't like, send shirts and say, I really don't like how the font links on this, and I really don't like how they combine the image with the text on this one, and I really like how they print on the in this area of the shirt or whatever. The more info, the better. And you also, of course, want to give clear deliverable and deadline requirements, right? So we want to make sure that the designer is going to be able to provide us with the transparent.png or the fully vector illustrator.eps file, right? That's paramount it's of paramount importance. We need to have that file. That's our inventory. That's our path to making money. We need the right file that's going to work with our fulfillment partners. And again, as a reminder, that's a transparent.png file, which is at least 2,400 pixels in the smallest dimension, and or a fully vector Adobe Illustrator file, which is .eps. So here's basically, this is kind of an example designer brief, and this is definitely not right or wrong. This is just what one of my designers likes to kind of receive. And the big point here is that I include links of examples. So here I'm just going to read it out. Hey there, I'm looking for a new design in the nursing niche. Here are a few links to shirts similar to what I'm envisioning, and then I provide a few links. I'd like the text to say nurses care in a font that makes sense with the niche. Please send me the transparent.png file, at least 2,400 pixels in width, by next Monday. So I got the deadline, I got the deliverable. I give them a couple of links so they kind of get an idea of what I want. I give them the subject of the the shirt, obviously the text, nurses care. I tell them about the niche in general, and I talk about even so specific in terms of asking for a font that makes sense. So there's a good amount of information here. If I'm a designer reading this, I kind of have a good idea where to start, especially based on what I'm going to see in the link examples. So this is a good example, but it's not the right answer. The only right answer is finding out what your designer specifically wants and needs in a design brief, and then providing and over-providing more and more info to the designer so he or she can be best suited to achieve the task at hand. And that is design something that you have in your head, get that from an idea onto a digital design file so you could then turn that into a t-shirt.